What's
Yes,
up,
sir.
baby?
Yes, sir. Storm Warning is back in the building.
And you know I got some of that good Jack Daniels, brother.
I got
Yeah,
some. I got
boy.
some good. I got some quality H2O water boy style.
Hey, man, we're gonna have a good show tonight, man. We're gonna have a good show tonight. We got a real, very special guest. Gonna run up. I'm not gonna go through all the topics, but of course, I'm gonna run through.
Run
We're
through
gonna
some
run
of
through.
them.
We're gonna run through some of them real quick. Tonight we're gonna talk about Philanthropic Flip Carson, the new commit. We got to talk about that. We also gonna talk about should Miami and Florida State join the SEC if Texas and Ohio, and Oklahoma does. Also, we're going to talk about the ACC Media Day. We're going to discuss on some of the topics that the coaches and the players commented on. We're going to talk about the fall camp and that starts August 6th. And we're going to be brief about the Vontae Williams situation, and we're going to go from there. And we're also going to bring in a special guest to kind of to talk about one of our top recruits that we're trying to get. And then I'm going to get into it right now. This guy that we're going to bring on, man, this is a guy I've been knowing since he was a kid, since he was in middle school. He used to work out with me. Me and his dad is real cool. He used to train with me when I played college football. Him and his brothers. Man, I've been this kid very special to me. I coached him in high school. Part of on the state championship run. He didn't get it his first year, but he was one of the best players that I coached. One of the smartest players I coached. He also played college football at Jacksonville State University, the Gamecocks. You know what I'm saying? He's the DB coach. He was a former DB coach at Oxford, Alabama. So that should give you a little hint right there. Now he's the new head coach at Uvalde in Texas. And the guy that we finna bring on right now is my main man, Jonathan Hagler, man. Bring him in. Bring in my boy, man.
All right, man, and he's official.
Bring my boy in.
I vetted him.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the
Yes,
show,
sir.
coach. Welcome to the show, coach.
So
And
what's
if you
up?
know anything about Oxford, Alabama, you know that they have a kid that we're dying to get. Trequan Fagan. He coached this guy last year. He knows a lot about his game, and he's going to give us, the ins and outs about this guy and what he thinks about him, and what it was like to coach him. So, man, kind of introduce yourself. Like I try to do the best I can, man. Just tell us a little bit, man.
Hey man, I play a little bit. I coach a little bit. I'm a DB guy. I study the position. I'm just a football head, man. I'm a football junkie. I watch film. I watch the real film. I got the all 22. So I'm in it. And
A lot of pausing, a lot of fast, a lot of slowing it down, a lot of slow mo.
Exactly.
yeah. Tay, we going back. I'm watching footwork. I think a week and a half ago I actually broke down Bubba Bolden. So I'll probably talk about him on my podcast over at the Crocker Report. So yeah,
Okay.
man, I know a little something.
So, like I said before, man, we got a real deep history with each other, man. You like my little brother, man.
Yeah.
Somebody I got true love for, man. Somebody I watched grow from a middle school player to a great high school player to even greater, college football player, man. And now I always knew you'd be a coach, and it's just a privilege to have you, for us to have you on the show, man. So we kind of jump off from it, real quick. You know what I'm saying? If Trequan Figans chooses Miami, what type of player would Miami be getting?
Trequan on the high school level, I think he's truly a special player. Obviously, you get a top 100 player. All those guys, they're pretty special. But I think he's a pro. When I first met him, his demeanor, everything about him, at the time they had just came out with the initial rankings, 5-star this, number 4 in the country. They go up and down. I saw the highlights, and he was just so level-headed. But he's a pro, man. He's a great kid. I can't wait to see what he does this last year to finish off his high school career.
Okay. So, as you being his coach, what was his work ethic like off the field, like far as in the weight room, classroom, and different things of that nature? What was his work ethic like?
Always working there. Always after practice, they hit the field with Trey Elston, former Oxford High School alumni. He played at Ole Miss a couple years back. Played in the NFL. And they, as soon as practice is over, every day they getting work in, extra field work in. Certain rules won't allow us to at times, but they're always putting in extra work. If I tell them to hit up this person or that person, they're always getting it in. They're not ducking any hard work or nothing like that. So they got a great work ethic.
Okay, that's
Well, that's
good.
what's
Okay.
up. That's what's up.
So on the field, what do you feel like he does best as a player on the field?
On the field, I feel like
What's his best traits?
His strength.
his ball skills are freaky at times. It's when that ball's in the air, you don't throw it. No, you better not miss. You better put it on the receiver. If you see a ball completed on him, it's because it was a perfect throw. Most of the times, receivers can't separate a lot. He's a big kid. He's probably all of 6'2", right there at it. And he's bigger, I think, in coverage than people think he is. He's about 185 right now. But I think his ball skills are freaky at times. I think that's going to be a problem.
Okay, so
how's his hips as a tall corner? How's his hips?
Oh, they're smooth. He has zero issues. He's been a DB his whole life. So if you know anything about the Fagan family, they're all DBs.
Right.
All DBs. So their dad, Antoine, and them, he's got an older brother, Arkansas State, one in JUCO, a couple younger brothers. They're all DBs. Has zero issues transitioning. They're smooth. For a long guy, I played with a couple longer corners in college, and a lot of times they were stiffer. But it's a reason why, the who's who wants him. When
Right.
you 6'2", 6'1.5", you can move like that and flip and turn and run. He's got it. He got it all.
Yeah, but of course, every player has something, that they need to work on. What do you feel like he can improve on as a player that can take him from a great player to a legendary player, or to that all pro type of all American status?
I think just just continue to develop like all aspects of his game, because he wants to shore up all those. But I think him really filling out his frame, because he's long. Now I may be mistaken. I want to say his wingspan 6'6", 6'7", maybe. Like, he's long, and he once he fills that out, like, he's gonna have prototypical size. Like, I talk about it a lot. If you go back, and I know he was the first corner off the board this year. Watch J.C. Horn in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You look how wiry he was. That's what he looks like.
Okay.
That's what he moves
That's
like.
that's something nice right there. That's a T-Rob guy.
That's a great player comp right there, because I can see that. I can see the similarities, especially with the long arms. Because I was watching the video with J.C. Horn doing some off-season training, and his DB coach told him, he's like, "Yo," he said, "You're so long, you can smother the receiver. Yep. You can smother him because you're so long." So yeah, that's a great comp right there.
Yep.
But speaking on Coach T-Rob, and I don't know if you've they've been recruiting him since last year. I don't know if you have you had any conversations with the UM staff about Fagan being in position.
When they initially hopped on him, I remember when they offered him and Anquan. I didn't talk to any of those guys at the moment, because I think they had just transitioned in. So I know Coach Etheridge, they had talked to the majority of them. So I didn't get a chance to talk to them. But a couple of my buddies that I played JUCO ball with, he played for T-Rob at South Carolina. And so I've been familiar with him for a minute now. I'm a big fan of him, just as a coach to coach. I looked up to him in high school and all that. I knew who he was. So, I know he knows what he's doing.
Okay. Of course, you spoke on his brother Antoine Fagan. He's a 2025 kid.
Mm-hmm.
He already has offers from UM and the University of Georgia at the cornerback position. So, kind of speak on that kid. You worked with him as well. What do you feel like he can be better than his brother? What's your take on Antoine, the younger brother?
I think he's the same type of player. Already going to go into the 9th grade. He's already, they might be the same height. I think we left for Christmas break, and then they came back for workouts, and he walking around, I said, "You the same height as Trequan now?" And he just started laughing. But he's a long kid, long arms. I don't know if he's gonna end up as a receiver, because he can. You watch him at receiver, he remind me a little bit of Justin Ross. Like, he got crazy. The ball skills, I don't know what's going on with him, but they both got freaky ball skills. But he's just a smooth cat. Great length, freaky ball skills, great range at the safety position too. He did some things last year that opened my eyes up, and I was like, okay, All right. All right.
So, like having two players like Trequan Fagan and his brother Anquan being a being a DB coach, how did that help you? How did that help you like transition far as calling coverages and things of that nature? Did it make it? I'm pretty sure it makes it
Makes
a
it
lot
easier.
easier.
Does it make
It makes it a lot easier as a coach having those type of guys.
So you're with guys like that, and I'm gonna shout out another. We had a loaded secondary for people who don't know. Oxford High School, we had a great season last year. Lost to Princeton, eventual state champs. You know, had Kool-Aid and all them boys over there. We got another safety, Miguel Mitchell, who's committed to Vanderbilt. He's in the same class as Trequan, 6'2", 207. 4'4" kid, impressive athlete as well. And we had a couple other guys signed with JUCO. Our job was easy.
What up, Eli? Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you're good. Our job was easy as a defensive staff, and Coach Cochran, our DC, he put a ton of pressure on those guys to cover, and he let them know it. Hey, make us look good, and they did. 99% of the time, they did.
So what was the what coverage would you say y'all ran majority of the time? Like was y'all man to man?
Was y'all zero coverage all day?
Y'all zero coverage out there?
Straight up zero.
Zero.
Sometimes
and I forgot. I know. Coach his staff. He's a fresh man. We finna get after the quarterback type coach.
Beat us. That's what we saying. We lined up. Hey, I got 3 SEC kids back here and 2 other All-State kids beat us. And if you beat us, you got us.
Right.
Exactly. Right. And that's how it was when y'all was playing. You playing at DB. When you was at Leeds, and and I just always got to shout out Coach Etheridge, man, because that guy there, man, he's a great man. Far and foremost, he loves his players. He's going to do everything for his players to get into school.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? It was somebody made an Instagram story about coaches, talking bad about kids to college coaches, and Coach Etheridge was the complete opposite. He's gonna go. Man, he's gonna sell you. And that's what you need, and that's why players love to play for him, and that's why you have guys like yourself, making it to different levels. Because I'm pretty sure he talk you up to everybody. Hey, I got this guy here. And I always have to give a shout out to Coach E anytime I'm talking high school football.
And he's one of the best in Alabama history. He's a five-time state champion in 3 classifications. Man, come on.
3 classifications, man. He went from,
when you got all that talent back there, look, just like you said, go cover 0. Hey. Beat me.
Love it.
Yeah, beat me. You may get 1 on me, but trust me, you ain't getting 2. Yep.
Yep.
So, like I said, you transitioned from Oxford to your school out in Texas, Uvalde. I'm sorry to butcher it.
Yeah, you good.
Like what are you looking to bring from Oxford that to your new program?
It's my second year coaching high school ball. I spent some time, working at Jacksonville State after I was done playing and all that stuff. But anytime I come anywhere, I want to be an impact to the kids because I know I only got them for a short period of time. I want to develop. I love developing, not just the young men, but the players. Like when they get done, or if they leave after this year, or I leave after this year, I want them to be like, Coach Hag got me right. He taught me something. One thing. It don't got to be all 5, 6, 7, 8. Just one thing that they'll take with them. And that's all I really aim to do.
Okay, so
how can you so what's the difference between the talent that you just left and that you have now?
So the talent I had is rare, right? Like I said, I had 3 kids back there with SEC offers, or Power 5 offers in general,
right?
And another 2 that signed, they'll move on. The difference is these kids are athletic here; they're smaller. Like it's all length. When you talk about college players, some of these kids may be able to do the same things he can do, not necessarily, but like they can't do it at 6'2", 185. That's when it gets freaky. But my guy may be 5'8" over here. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. Right. But them guys are special, man. Right. It's hard to compare, to that group I had last year. Not a lot of high school secondaries have that much talent, man.
Okay.
All right, that's what's up. That's fair.
Ben Pratt said, "Were you there with Coach Gross?" Coach Gross.
Yep. Yeah.
He was there with Coach Gross.
Coach Gross. Yep.
Yeah, he was there with Coach Gross. Yeah, man. Well, boy, hey, y'all was on that. You was on that team that made that deep playoff run, right?
So I was committed. The year they lost to Carson Wentz in North Dakota State, I was committed. The 2 years after, we played, Georgia Tech, Liberty, Coastal right before they jumped. But I mean, we only lost like 3 games when I was there. So 3 or 4 games.
I know y'all was loaded. Y'all was stacked, bro. Y'all had a good squad.
Jackson State was always a good program.
Everybody was ducking us. We were trying to get these
Jacksonville State. Sorry.
Yeah, they started ducking us. So.
Yeah, you already know who ain't gonna play no other in-state school. Your school that you root for, we gonna get into that a little bit later, man. We gonna get into
that. Hey, John, I heard you was an Alabama fan, but we gonna talk about that later. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, for the lines then.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm with it. I signed up for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so being a farmer, you don't want to kind of touch on some stuff that everybody's been talking about that's new, and I know you wish you had. I wish I had. New NIL. I feel that being a former player and now being a coach. How do you feel about that NIL? Do you think it's good for the college game?
I love it. Obviously, everybody wants to protect the purity, right? But at the end of the day, like, I know what it's like to be in there with them guys, because some of them guys, like, they can make money, but either they got to go do something dumb or they got second job. Right. You know what I'm saying? And now guys, they get stipends, and it's not as bad, but I'm all for it, man. If you can get a guy like Derek King, right, who may not have the best pro potential, right, let him maximize everything he can so he can set himself up for the next 5 years to be successful. I love that. I love everything about it.
No, exactly. I agree. They don't have to do anything that's gonna hurt the program to get money.
Yeah, as long as you focus on playing, keep, you gotta, like everybody been saying, keep the main thing.
Yeah.
And focus on playing ball. Don't get distracted. You know what I'm saying? Because the guys who really are gonna have a chance to go to the next level, they're gonna be focused on making the millions in the next couple years. Because that 20, 30, 40,000, it's not worth that 4 or 5 million contract that you're gonna, put at risk by not focusing.
So, like being like I said, having so many great DBs at Oxford, like, how is it far as on the recruiting tip, like with the coaches calling, like with me, like with Trey, I got a few calls from Rutgers and little schools like that, but like the sales pitches, can you give like what are the pitches, like what's the difference in the pitches that without trying to get anybody in trouble, you don't have to name any names, SEC or SEC or AC. You can just say, hey, what's the pitches like? Like, how do they come?
I'd say some schools, they're easy you can see the insecurities because they're there's certain ways people try to out-recruit a Alabama or out-recruit a Miami or out-recruit a Georgia or out-recruit a South Carolina. A lot of upstaffs, they're confident, right?
Right.
Some schools, you can play right away. Some schools is, they sell themselves. But it was interesting, seeing the different pitches and seeing which ones, trying to. You really thought that was gonna work because they're still trying to figure out what type of kid he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you know what type of kid, Trequan, Miguel, those guys, they're some of the most level-headed kids that I've ever been around. They're so mature for their age. You know what I mean? And they just handle it because they can see. They just want realness. They just want somebody they can connect with because they know they're making a decision that's going 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Got you. Okay. And I was thinking about that too, just as a former high school, the guy that was recruited, and you hear some of the pitches. I got the recruiting from Florida's and the Southern Miss. I had a mixed bag of offers because, like I said, at the time, we didn't have the YouTube and the huddle and all that stuff. So recruit was a lot different. You had
the VHS tapes that just put the highlights on and mail them jokers out.
Oh, he know that, man. I used to be at their house dubbing tapes and stuff like that, man.
My first highlight tape. Yeah, I was in that weird transition period between the CDs and the huddle, right? So I got to see both. So my first highlight tape, my junior year of high school, was a CD, a DVD, whatever. So it had Jonathan Hagler, strong safety, 5'11", 190, 185 on it, So
because we was used to. I used to when Terrence, my little brother Terrence was getting recruited. I used to go to to your mom's shopping, and she used to help me mail them off and stuff like that.
I had a stack. I had a stack of them, but it's different.
And mine was straight VCR tapes, baby.
Oh, you had that
exactly. Exactly. Mine was straight VHR.
Straight VCR tapes. No,
they're HD now. Them cameras HD now. So
do you feel like it's easier for a kid to get a scholarship compared to when we was coming up?
I think
being able to promote themselves.
I think
and be exposure.
It's easier for coaches to find you.
Right.
I got to work in recruiting, at JSU when I worked there, and I think it's a lot easier to find kids now because there's been times we found kids by we would just search 100-meter times, and we would be able to go through entire states in 2 days. So we can go through Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Mississippi, and we find 3-4 kids who are very fast, good football players, but they don't have either the prototypical height or weight, and then they fall to us, right? So I can find kids faster, right? So I have more access to kids, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Huddle, and all these other things. So I think the access is there. And I think it's easier to be recruited by more schools. It's still hard. You still got to be good. But I think it's easier to be recruited by multiple schools from, the West Coast all the way out to the South to up north.
Yeah, that's what that's why I was thinking. Exactly. Because when we was coming up, it was more so like, okay, I ain't got a lot of money to keep mailing all these tapes off.
Right.
It's just a link. I can send a mass email and everybody can get my, you know what I'm saying?
I have an email now. I have an email that I use for when I was working in recruitment, and I can sign in right now, and it is full with high school kids from Pennsylvania to Alabama to North Dakota to Idaho to Delaware to Southern California, and they just come because it's so easy to get a hold of coaches and players now.
Yeah. So speaking
that huddle is like it's magic.
It'll change the game.
Yeah, the huddle changed the game.
So we were speaking offline about some stuff, and I wanted to kind of bring it to the forefront on front stage. You talked about of course, Trequan Fagan, he went to Thompson. Kind of speak on the level, the talent that's around him now, and how it's gonna just pretty much really show how much he really can do.
Yeah. So at Oxford we had a lot of talent. Obviously, I told you about a couple guys. Oxford always puts out good players. Quan Alexander played there. Rock Thomas from a couple years ago. Our quarterback this past year put up over 50 touchdowns. Signed Mississippi State with baseball. Backup quarterback committed to Auburn for baseball, and then we had a freshman who's already pulled Power 5 offers who hasn't played a down yet, but he's a gifted passer. And we had a receiver, Rock Taylor, who's committed to Tennessee. He's now in Memphis. But anyway, I think making that jump is Thompson is the most loaded public high school in the country. And we kind of talked about it, touched on it a little bit. The quarterback was the Gatorade Player of the Year last year in the state of Alabama, just committed to North Carolina. They have a receiver, 2 receivers with Division I offers. And they also on defense is where they're scary, right? So you have Trequan, who just transferred in, 4-star corner, whatever, Then you have Tony Mitchell, a class of 2023. He's ranked the number 1 corner on pretty much every site, number 1, number 2 corner in 2023. They have another safety committed to Austin P at the FCS level. He's an athletic player. They have Armand Lane, another talented 2024 corner who holds a handful of Power 5 offers. He'll be among the top 10, 15 in his position group. Then you have Trequan Fagan, Trequan's little brother, who has 4 Power 5 offers. And then you get into the Jeremiah Alexanders, number 2 DN in the country, committed to Alabama. Then you have Peter Woods on the inside, number 2 overall player in the class of 2023, on the inside. And then they have another big D tackle who I think is a Division I kid as well. Absolutely loaded, stacked team. And, he this summer. He's been over there this summer, and I've been hearing a lot of things. And, I think he's that alpha type dog. I think, and everybody, kind of, they're getting to see that now. They know who it was. We played them last year. We played Thompson last year in the first game, and they got us. But, I think everybody's going to see this year. He's kind of underrated. He kind of fell down on the radar. He started off really high as far as, if you follow recruiting, he started off really, really high, like top 25 in the country. And he's a quiet kid, doesn't talk a ton. And people just didn't get a chance to see him that much, right?
Yeah, with COVID,
Yeah, and so they hadn't got a chance to really evaluate him. You know, some people saw a game or two here, but they'll see this year. I think they'll see this year like, oh, I think we kind of sleeping on this kid. So, which is hard to do.
He got all that talent. He gonna shine because hey, look, football players, they do what they do best, play football.
Oh yeah,
he's a gamer. He's a gamer from what I've seen on film. So now he playing with a bunch of other ballers too.
Hey.
Oh man, look, he about to show out.
Scary hour.
That's scary. They may not give up 21 points the whole year. How that sound?
I think
who they playing? Like who they got in the big games?
So Thompson, they're in one of the hardest regions in the country. They have the Hoovers, the Hewitt Trustfuls, and then whoever comes out of that bracket tends to win the state championship. But then on the other side, you have Auburn High School. You have your who did they beat? Central Phoenix. One of those teams are probably going to be waiting on the other side of the bracket for them. And we saw them almost beat Thompson this past year. Now Thompson is loaded. Auburn, they got some stuff cooking, over there too. I see they may have the best O-line in the state. I don't know if
man.
That O-line is scary. They got 3 Division I linemen over there. And they got some talent. So them and Central Phoenix are gonna be there waiting, I believe. And I think 7A in Alabama is hot right now. So
yeah, man. It was 6A when I was playing. It's crazy that 7A, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird, man. So I'm definitely gonna be back in Birmingham. Checking out especially checking out Thompson games. I haven't been to a Birmingham game since you guys was coaching, since I was coaching in the league.
Hey, do they got any games that's gonna be nationally televised? You know how ESPN to get a
They
couple
typically
games?
do. They typically Thompson being one of the top teams, they typically line one up. It may be Hewitt, it may be a playoff game. I know IMG is playing Auburn, so that I'm sure that'll be on ESPN, but I'm not sure.
Where they play Auburn at?
At Auburn.
I gotta call Coach. I gotta call Coach E. I gotta be at that game.
Thompson need to come up here and play one of these high schools from the DMV. One of these power high schools from
who up there?
DeMatha, St. John's, Gonzaga.
Who was it? My boy D Payne played at HD Woodson.
HD.
Yeah.
HD's a public school in DC.
Okay. Yeah, he played
a bunch of real gritty young men.
Yeah.
Gritty, tough. And they're gonna talk that smack, Jack. They
already know. Hey, look, D Payne won. I think he won Gatorade Player of the Year in 2014. Same year Tabor came out. He played there.
Tabor with the friendship in DC.
Yep. And D Payne went to Tennessee, transferred to Arizona Western, balled at Iowa State, had some chance to play professionally with the Titans for a minute. So I know a little bit about the DMV and football, man.
I told him I got noticed football, man. I told him he's a football head, man.
I recognize that from we were speaking earlier, man. Look, football guys recognize football guys. You know what I'm saying?
They recognize the game.
Yeah. So you, of course, you spoke offline about the UM staff, man. What do you think those guys? Do you think the guys that can really mold the Trequan and the other DBs to NFL guys? How do you feel about that defensive staff and Manny Diaz coming to defense?
I think when you look at the resume, I think it speaks for itself. They do put guys into the NFL. You look at Van Dyke, young coach, but what he did as a player, and his so far his recruiting prowess. I saw y'all have two other corners committed already. Fan of what they do. I saw one kid. He played primarily receiver in high school, right? Athletic kid.
You talk about
Graves.
Yeah. Malik Curtis.
You talking about Graves.
Oh, Graves.
You talking about this class? Graves played. He played majority of athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, he played both. He split.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know. Okay. Yeah. So I know they they're doing a thing on the recruiting trail. And, T-Rob, his resume speaks for itself. And they just put out JC and the other corner Israel. And like I said, I had a couple buddies that played for South Carolina when he was there. I think they're definitely trending in the right direction. And y'all got a ton of talent coming back next year. I'm excited to see the group. You got the transfers. Stevenson came in.
Yeah.
So I think the staff know what they're doing, man. I think they got a good staff. They got a good thing going.
So speaking of that,
Yeah.
we've been talking about this matchup on what will happen when they play. This is about what 2000, about 2007, 2000. It's been a long time.
Yeah, just been waiting for Miami to get good again.
Oh man, cut it out, man. So what do you think?
September 4th.
So what's your take on September 4th? Like, what's your take? Being an Alabama fan and being a slightly Miami guy, and you got to tell us the back end story about your father and being your dad was UM.
Yeah, so growing up, obviously, I was born in '95. Miami, the beginning of 2000s, that was when I first started watching football, and my biological father was a huge Miami fan, and that's who we watched. And I wanted to be, all them guys, the Sean T's, and I was a running back at the time. Wanted to be, Willis McGahee and all them. But we used to watch the games. I remember I cried that Ohio State game because I didn't understand what happened. And it's so yeah. But
so you're a Miami fan at heart.
I was raised.
So you're Miami.
I was raised to be one. I was raised to be one, but I was always, Bama. Bama is that's when we were trash. I'm a Bama fan. I'm born and bred to be a Bama fan. But
so say it again. When Bama was what? Say it again.
Yeah, we were bad. Okay,
so exactly, because a lot of people don't think Alabama was hard.
Right.
No, I went through as a kid. They forget. Man, I had to worry about people saying "fear the thumb" and stuff, and Auburn whooping us every year. And I was Brother Krogan sacked 12 times, and yeah, man, it was rough.
So, what's your take on the game, man? What do you think? Just give your take on both teams. What they will have to do to win the game.
I think obviously, the question mark is King, right? He's a trigger man. He make everything go. Great player. Like, I've been a fan of his since Houston. And, I was mad when he put up 45, 47 touchdowns, 50, and people weren't talking about him. How is he going to return? How effective is he going to be running the ball with that knee injury, right? Because I think he's a good passer. He can throw the rock, but what makes him scary is his dual threat ability. Y'all have a ton of talent coming back. What is it, 19 starters? Some
19 of something like that.
Yeah,
19.
Some crazy, right? And then you add in, Rambo and Stevenson. On paper, I think if you're playing anybody but Alabama, Ohio State at the beginning of a year, Miami's favorite. Because those teams tend to reload for, Bama has a ton of question marks, right? You lost, some of the most productive players in college football history, a couple first round picks. Miami could very well be the better team, but if those guys, if they settle in at Bama, and, they got a couple guys, and, Jalen Simpson came in from Ohio State, John Mechie. We'll see how the secondary matches up with those guys. Jaleel Billingsley, see if Bryce Young can handle the pressure from a veteran defense. Y'all lost some up front, with Roche and Phillips and all that. So if y'all can get to him, obviously a young quarterback, that's what you want to do. Get pressure on the young guy. Then it'll get interesting. It'll get interesting. But it's gonna be a good game. I don't know if the point spread has changed from 18. Back. What's it now?
I think it's like 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
it's somewhere ridiculous.
In my head, I don't see that. I see it being a little bit closer, just because I 19 starters coming back is a lot. That's a lot. And then y'all upgraded in some spots. I want to see what Stevenson can do. And Rambo, he's a legit deep threat. I like his game, and but I think if De'Aaron King is somewhat, if he's 80-90%, I think y'all be in the game. If he can't run, they're gonna kill him. And then you got the young butt back there. Maybe we see Garcia at some point in the year. I don't know if Derek's not as effective, with his knee. I have a ton of respect for him. So
okay,
all right.
But you already know. So give me your prediction. Give me a score.
I gotta get a score. Put a score on it.
Score. The offenses are too good now, so I think Bama probably drops 35. Miami 21.
35-21.
Yeah.
I think it's 38-31 Miami. Of course, I'm gonna pick the Canes. I just think, like I said, from a defensive standpoint, I think we're just gonna be we have got a lot of veterans on the defense, and I think we're gonna pressure the first year guy, and I think that'll be the difference. I think he'll throw one or two. If you remember, Burrow's first year starting at
LSU.
LSU. Oh no, I'm sorry, not LSU, not Burrow, but my guy, what's your Mac Jones.
Okay.
You remember that Auburn game, right?
Yep.
What happened?
He
threw what?
Jalen Waddle went crazy. He threw a couple picks. Great. He had a good game. He threw a couple turnovers and things like that.
Exactly. He had a couple of costly turnovers. He's gonna get hit.
Yeah,
he's gonna get his. I just expect for him to make those first year freshman mistakes from pressure.
Because he's talented. He's talented. The only thing I would say about the matchup is obviously, there was a couple games where y'all got gashed. And Bama has a stable. Brian Robinson looked okay, but I think Jason McClellan's going to end up being the guy back there. The kid out of Aledo, Texas. I'm curious if losing those guys up front, if Miami be able to handle, just 4 quarters of just pounding the rock. Because I don't think they're going to come out guns blazing with Bryce. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think they're going to pick their shots and try to impose their will on that Miami front.
I think the second season in Rhett Lashley's offense is going to pay big dividends also in having a full off season to develop, to work on the offense, to implement it with a COVID-free, hopefully off season. I think that's going to pay major dividends for the offense this year.
So do y'all obviously, the running game was okay. I think, Derek's obviously a big running threat in that offense. Do you think Miami has the running game to get Bama off them?
I think I go first. I think the fact that we returned all our starters on the offensive line, and we got a lot of fourth, fifth year guys. I think far from a maturity standpoint, they're up for the task. And also, like D Black has said, last year we only ran really like 25% of our offense because we didn't have a full spring. We get to open it up a little bit more. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff far as with 4 or 5 wide sets. 4 wide. A lot of with the zone read concept and the motions that you really didn't get to see last year. Because of the short, we just we just need to stick to these set type of plays with different formations,
and it worked. It worked. You had a veteran quarterback, and there was some talent on that team. I'm interested to see. See what happens.
And also,
I was just gonna say one last thing. When you said something about them getting gas, we got rid of that problem. Was the D coordinator? He's not there no more. Okay. And history. If you look at the history. When Manny Diaz calls the defense, run defense is in the top 10 in the nation every year. Okay. When he was the offensive line coach, so
because he's known, he's known as a dude.
Yeah, so that's just my take. I think it's going to be a close game, but goes a close game Miami way. I don't think we blow Alabama out. I think it's going to be off a mistake. I just think it's going to be an interception or turnover that changed the tide of the game late. I think it'll be a battle early for the 3 quarters. Going to the 4th, and then like the last 5 or 6 minutes, you get a big turnover to change the game.
The one I think is going to affect the game the most is if Zion can be consistent. If he gets matched up with Will, if he gets matched up with Will Anderson, because Will Anderson is he's a gifted pass rusher, and I'm curious about how much pressure he's going to be able to generate. And that Bama front's good, they're athletic, but Will Anderson looking like a top 5, top 10 pick. And I think he struggled with consistency at that tackle spot, and he was a little banged up last year, right?
Zion?
Yeah.
No, Zion actually no.
Did he
did good last year. No. He played. They projected him as a first-round draft pick this year because he played so well last year. But the player you're thinking about is Navon Donaldson. The one that was nicked up. That's what you're thinking about. He didn't play much last year.
Yeah, he didn't come back. Navon didn't come back to later on in the season, but him coming back, we have our offensive line has the most starts coming into the season. In college football history.
Because
that'll bode well for the
Good
team.
matchup. When you saw Bama, they added Henry Tutu. a toe, whatever, and then Christian Miller on the inside. Like I can't wait to see the battle up front with Bama and Miami. Like I said, y'all have the best of having a ton of experience back and talent coming back versus the team that just reload. So I think that's a perfect game to kick out the season. So,
but we have to establish, to answer your question earlier, we have to establish the run game.
Yeah.
If we can establish the run game, 3 yards here, 5 here, 7, 10, 20, to get Bama to get out that box a little bit, and we can spread them out. But my thing is, like, when we watch me and Slaughter watch the Auburn game, what they did was they spreaded Alabama out and made Alabama cover the whole field.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna have to do, but we're gonna have to be able to run the ball. We can establish the run against Bama's young secondary.
Yep.
Against all proven wide receivers. I think I'll go to Vegas and take that bet.
We gotta attack him on the edge. We can't try to run. I honestly think we can't try to attack him between the tackles. We gotta
go off tackle. We gotta go off tackle.
We gotta have to go
off tackle, misdirection, some counters, maybe some traps, because they defense may be aggressive. D-line may be aggressive coming upfield. A couple traps to get them D tackles to think a little bit before they come upfield.
I think obviously the run game, and then I think like I keep talking about Rambo, but I think y'all gonna have to hit shots. I think when teams hit shots on Bama, our teams tend to miss shots, and like you said, if you're in there with the champ, you can't miss. You gotta you gotta knock them down, and I think if they get in there and they miss a couple balls high, or they overthrow a couple when they get them chances, that's when I think it can be bad. Because if you let I think Jalen Armour-Davis projected to start at the other corner. He's an athletic kid. You let him get settled in and get comfortable, and then it's like, oh, okay, because the other guys, they played a lot. Job is one of the most experienced corners in the country. Jordan Battle, South Miami kid. But I'm just saying,
and you got Helms that's from the DMV with the
I think DeMarco is probably the best safety aside from the young bucks. Brian Branch and Malachi Moore. Those two can play, but I like Helms. Like, I like him a lot. I think he may be the best of the three safeties that they rotate.
But TJ, you're a boxer. They say you gotta beat the champ.
Yeah,
like, you gotta beat the champ. You can't just fool around and think you're gonna win on points in boxing. You gotta beat the champ. So we gotta come out there and throw haymakers with bad intentions.
Speaking on what you said about taking big shots, the year that Bo Nix's first year, you're right. They came out and they hit some big shots early.
Early.
They hit some big shots early that kind of took Alabama out. They spreaded them out a little bit. So now they got to respect the pass game, and that's when
they started winning.
They started
turnovers mixed with the big shots, and then you're like, hold up, now we got a game. Right.
They was gassing them with the run.
They started utilizing the zone read, and that's when you saw Bo Nix get them yards running.
And that's why I think De'Eric, how healthy is he? Because he's an athletic guy. How effective is he going to be running? He doesn't have to be De'Eric King from the last 2.5 years running the ball. But how healthy is he going to be able to move the ball, running the ball?
That's true. He got to be able to, get those first downs and keep a guy in the spy, and if you keep a guy in the spy, that means you can't run a lot of zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my thing is on third downs, we got to keep the chains moving.
Yeah.
We got to keep the chains moving, and then on the flip side, we got to get off the field on third down.
Always got to get off the field. You can't hang out there.
Yeah,
man, I'm gonna leave this up to you, my boy. Do you want to stay on, man, or do you got something to do, man? We gonna touch some more topics, man.
I can kick it.
Okay, cool. We'd love to keep you on, man. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next topic. We're gonna get into some more Kane talk. We got the big pickup from the kid, Philanthropic Carson. You know what I'm saying? The big the big offensive tackle. Of course, he's 6'7".
Hey, hold on. We got a lot of Bama fans in here tonight, man.
Well, hold on. What roll tide? Man, you ought to know what it is, man. No roll tide. What are you talking about, champ? Talking about some roll tide, man. You ought to know what time it is, man.
Yeah, Mr. Flip, 6'7". Mr. Flip is 6'7", a basketball player with tremendous upside, great feet for a big man. That's what you want in your tackles. With what they call them, dancing bears. You like them dancing bears.
Oh yeah. Big kid from the state of Georgia. He goes to hold on. I'm sorry, man. My stuff froze up on me. My stuff froze up, yeah. Oh yeah. Big Philanthropic Carson. Boom. From the state of Georgia. What high school my guy go to? Yeah. Oh, Sandersville. He go to Washington County High School in Sandersville, Georgia. Me personally, I'm gonna try to. They plays Covington High School this year, so I'm gonna look to get look and check him out, see him in person, see how he does. Cause of course, like I said, we said before, he's a former basketball guy, so of course that means he has some pretty good feet. And with Garen Justice, man, they do a pretty good job with the offensive lineman, and Miami has been doing a good job of identifying, high school basketball players and turn them into players. With Harrison Hunt, was a basketball player. We turned him into one of our top D tackles. And of course Zion.
Yeah.
Zion, he was a former basketball player, and he's projected to be in the first round. So with this kid, there's not really a lot of film on him. But I'm just excited for his upside, because if you can get him a kid that's already 6'7", 290 pounds, 275 pounds, 280 pounds. He's already long. He already got good feet. He can move. And what I love about the kid is he holds the weight
well.
Evenly. He holds it well. He doesn't look sloppy. You know what I'm saying? He has a good balanced build to himself. So I'm excited to see
with NFL linemen. Like I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, you go see NFL linemen are massive, right? But they're put together. I think I saw a picture of Teron Smith today. That man got abs at 308.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're impressive looking. They're athletes out there. So
especially because the defensive ends are now so much more athletic. They can't be big and just I'm just 340 pounds, but
you gotta be able to move.
You got to be able to move.
And one thing you can't do, you can't teach 6'7".
Nah,
can't teach that.
You can't teach 6'7", and you can't teach 6'7", 280 and good feet.
Yeah.
And I trust Garen Justice. You know what I'm saying? I trust Garen Justice. Look what Zion Nelson was before Garen Justice got there and coached him up in a COVID year. So imagine what Zion's going to look like with a full year, and when Flip gets to Miami and gets into that Dave Feely strength and conditioning program, because you look what it's doing, what it's done for Zion. Like, what I'm saying? Look at Zion's body now compared to his freshman year.
He came in at 240.
Yeah, 240.
Zion came in at 240.
And look, some people 240 on some sites, 230, 235 on some others, but
that's
he's
crazy.
He's not that no more.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
So what do y'all think's been the biggest difference? Obviously seeing, we had our teasers with Miami being back, and it looks like the last couple of years, definitely trending up.
Right.
So what do y'all think the difference is? Is it up front? Obviously the guys are always on the outside, but do you think it's up front?
I think it's the offensive line. Me personally, the defense always. I think it's the offensive line, and I think it's the the offensive coordinator. Because when we had our good years with 2016, even when we lost 6 or 7 games, it wasn't the defense fault. Okay. We couldn't put up points.
So you think that's QB? You think it was the quarterback as well, or do y'all think y'all were okay there?
I think it was just the team. I think it was the quarterback one year. I think we had inconsistencies at quarterback. We couldn't settle on a quarterback, and I also think it was the offensive team. It just didn't fit what we was trying to do. It was just a little too complex.
It was too slow.
It was too slow developing. With those South Florida kids, they are used to running that spread type offense, and that's what they excel best at. And what I love about Manny Diaz is he analyzed the issue and he corrects the issue. A lot of people thought he wasn't going to get rid of his guy that he coached under him, and Blake Baker. He got rid of him and he took it over. And I already know we already got our coaches waiting. And
we still got to fix that linebacker situation.
Yeah, we'll fix that.
We got to fix that. We got to fix that as far as just linebacker recruiting. You know what I mean? We got to fix that, and I think that's going to be important when it comes to us playing Bama. How our middle linebackers play against Bama, because we know Bama going to want to play in a phone booth and test your metal.
Evan Neal, when he gets to the second level, is a problem. He is mauling people. Evan Neal, when he climbs from whoever he's blocking initially, and once he gets moving, he's 6'7", 360. I don't care who it is. So them D linemen have to keep Evan Neal off of their linebackers.
They have to. You know, and Manny, I mean, and Manny has someone in his ear who knows defense. Coach Shoot knows, so he can rely on him at halftime to be like, yo, this is what I see. This is what we should do. You know what I'm saying? Manny knows defense. Coach Shoot knows defense. T-Rob knows defense. So I think the difference is just the staff. You know, you got a staff full of people that been there and done that. Like on the offense, you got 3 offensive coordinators on the offensive side. Yeah. You got Rhett Lashlee, Garen Justice, and Rob Likens. Right? Exactly. On defense, you got 3 defensive coordinators. Really, you got Manny, T-Rob, and Coach Shoot.
And don't forget, you got Ed Reed. You also got Ed Reed that's giving input as well.
I mean, of course. I mean, you got.
You know what I'm saying? So you got that. You got that guy right there.
You got a Hall of Famer. You got a Super Bowl champion that's been on championship defenses, and you got a Georgia high school coach legend who's seen it all.
So you got that experience from coaching. It's there. And so, also, like I said, from the offensive side of the ball, man, it speaks for itself. You know, Rhett Lashlee has proven that his offense puts up points. You know, he's one of the top offensive coordinators, and I think that's the big difference from us being back from prior seasons to us being back now. I think we're able to put up points when we need to put up points, and we've shown that in different times when we had to come back from behind. Can I go on to the next topic, man?
Hold on. But to answer your question, for us to be back, we have to win the conference that we're in.
Get over Clemson.
Yeah, we gotta dethrone Clemson. You know what I'm saying?
I think y'all this year on a collision course with Clemson.
Yeah, we gotta.
And then y'all see. I think y'all, no matter how the first game go, I think Clemson and Miami at the end of the year is gonna be important. So.
Yeah, we gotta. We want a seat. We want a seat at the college playoffs. We got to get there.
It's good for football, man.
Of course.
Speaking of that, we just saying, of course, everybody's seen the news this today about Texas and Oklahoma trying to come into talking about coming into the SEC. But what I was thinking about was, should Miami and FS2 try to join the SEC if Texas and Oklahoma does? What's y'all take on that? What y'all think?
I think Miami should stay put where they are right now.
Yeah, I think Texas and Miami, Texas and Oklahoma are doing it because they're getting out recruited by the brand of the Big 12. So the Big 12 doesn't hold way. ACC isn't as respected, but North Carolina pop up. Everybody's waiting for Miami. Everybody's waiting for Florida State. The Big 12 is kind of what it is, right? Texas is getting out recruited every year by Oklahoma. They can't get these kids in the Southeast because they're like, why would I come all the way out there? My parents can't watch me play. And I can go right here to Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Auburn, and the SEC, and my folks can watch me. So if they come to
Texas A&M. Texas A&M trying to take the best recruits.
Yep, and so they can come over here to the SEC. I think it helps Texas more than anybody. I think they can come over to the SEC, get some of these kids that they're losing every year. Like you heard Quinn Ewers talk about. He was like, why won't y'all stay home in Texas? He was like, man, they haven't been relevant in forever. They go to the SEC, they're relevant again. You know what I mean? So I don't think Miami should, because Miami, I think that brand speaks for itself. I think the ACC, Clemson, North Carolina, Miami, Florida State, if they pick it back up, I think it's good for them to stay over there. You don't need to be a part of the super conference. So
my take is different. I think for the same reason that you gave for Texas is for Miami for the most part than Florida State, because you got to think a lot of the players that we lose to the Alabamas and the Georgias are because they play in the SEC. They want to play in the SEC. Yeah. So you take that factor out. Okay, I can stay at home. I can stay in a big city because we from Birmingham. Ain't shit in Tuscaloosa. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing in Tuscaloosa.
It's Alabama.
It's Alabama. So I can stay at home, you know what I'm saying, and still play in the SEC and get the perks of playing in that type of conference. Because if the kids stay home, you don't have a dominant Alabama. Because if you look at the best players of Alabama has been from South Florida. All the record holders.
When you look at the talent on the outside, you know, I think Bama gets a lot of their beef from home. But when you look at the receiving talent,
South Florida
guys in secondary, like they're robbing the cradle in South Florida.
Yeah,
it's not the fact that they're robbing the cradle. It's the fact that they're getting the best player. Yeah, they're not getting multiple guys. We're getting the most guys.
They pulled the best receiver out of there. 4 years in a row?
Exactly. That's what
the best player in the state. You know, arguably for 3-4 years, Bama said and they broke records and Heisman finalists and first round draft picks. So,
but my thing is Miami, you got to start dominate the ACC first.
Yeah, I think if Miami wins, they become relevant. They become relevant.
Exactly. Let's get a couple ACC championships underneath our belt. Yeah. Then we could think about let's go to the SEC. But now,
because that's the issue, right? Because Clemson's recruiting fine.
Right.
Clemson doesn't have an issue recruiting. These kids didn't grow up watching Miami dominate, right? Like my class was the last group that remembers Miami being good. So in my head, I always remember the U, right? I remember them holding up the crystal ball and stuff like that. These kids, Miami, they're like, nah. That's it's been Clemson. Clemson run the ACC. Florida State run the ACC. So in their head, that's all they see. If Miami wins 11, 12 games, they can still recruit. Who doesn't want to come to South Florida?
Right.
I understand that, but I'm talking about
that's just like when Miami was in the Big East and we dominated the Big East. That's why we moved to the ACC.
I get that, but what I'm saying is from you got to think about it like this. Okay, my train of thought is that's a super conference. That's what college football is going to go.
All the best teams going to be there.
You see what I'm saying? That's what it's going to go to because simple fact they're trying to do away with the NCAA. They're trying to be able to come up. In a few years, it's not going to be really NCAA. It's just going to be schools, and they're going to come up. They're going to all the commissioners of each conference going to come up with set of rules that they want to go by. You know what I'm saying? So
well, until that day, then Miami still needs to stay put, bro. Until they start winning in the ACC. Like we haven't won anything in this conference to go to the SEC and be.
You're not getting what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you put Oklahoma, but what I'm saying is they can have 2 or 3 losses and still make it to the playoffs because of the conference they in. That's what I'm getting.
If Miami went to, even if Miami, as good as they seem right now, right? If they go to a super conference, say figuratively, we put Texas, Oklahoma there, right? What they're fighting for 3rd, 4th on their best year right now, right? So
we don't know.
Oklahoma looks like the best team in the country right now, right? On paper.
On paper. Yeah.
Right.
Okay? Then you know what Bama does, right? So they're there. Okay, so now you start off in 3rd, and that's without even playing the schedule. Everybody knows what it's like. Everybody knows you get beat up in the SEC, right? Mm-hmm. So why go and leave the ACC when you can be 2 and get a chance to knock off the champ every year and be relevant, and then you in a dog fight every single week, and you may end up with 4 or 5 losses with a great team.
But I'm looking at the long term. I'm looking at the long game because you can see it now. Okay, like Georgia had 3 losses last year, right?
Yep.
And they was ranked number 7 in the country. Mm-hmm. Miami had 3 losses last year, and Georgia took some bad losses last year too. And we was ranked number 20 something in the country.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Their losses up to like 1, 3, and 5.
Right.
So if you look at Florida, right, was a top 5 team all year, right? They were toe for toe with Alabama and they played 5-6 times.
They got blew out by Alabama. They lost by like 25.
And we got blown up by North Carolina.
That Alabama team was incredible.
I understand that. That's my point. That's what I'm getting at.
Was incredible. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but we got blown up by North Carolina, bro.
And that was ranked number 5, and that was ranked in the top. That was ranked in the top 15.
But we still got blown out. But North Carolina is not Alabama.
Yeah. I think that's the difference.
That's my point. That's what I'm getting at. You see what I'm getting at?
My thing is like,
you good?
Do you see what I'm getting at?
Look, my thing is you can't join them, beat them. Like
it's not about joining. It's not joining the beat because if you really know the history of Miami, when they was looking for a conference before they got in the Big East, the SEC was begging them to come to the SEC.
Bro, I understand that, but that was then. We're talking now. Right now, we got to become relevant. We got to win games.
You want it to where you want to be. You want Miami to be relevant, right? You want Miami to be able to take a couple L's and still be in the hunt because the SEC holds more weight, right?
Exactly.
So I get it. Yeah, I get what both of you are saying, but you trying to earn your stripes now in the ACC before y'all make that jump to be with the big dogs, right? In the SEC.
But Texas, but Texas. No, that's what I'm saying. Texas, Texas is pretty much like Miami right now.
No, they are right. But
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if Texas and Austin, so you got to throw that into play, right? So Austin and Miami, Texas and Miami are in similar situations right now, right?
Yeah.
But Austin is the most popping city in the country right now. So that's one, right? They already have the biggest brand. Miami's up there too.
Yeah, but Texas, nobody's bigger than Texas.
Yeah, look, geographically though, it makes more sense for Texas, right? South Florida seems like a whole nother world to people. You know what I mean? Texas is okay, cool. They next to Louisiana.
But I'm just thinking as far as, because like I said, we get in the essence, we get the rivalry back with Florida on a consistent basis. I'm thinking about
that'd be great.
You said what I'm saying. I'm thinking about that's what I'm thinking about. Miami's it's the Southeast.
Yeah,
you can't get more Southeast than Miami.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
I feel you on that.
I understand what y'all saying about the ACC. Okay, I get that.
All right, let me read this comment. The dude Ocala Kane said we need to take over the ACC first. If we can't beat Clemson or Carolina consistently, we can't beat Georgia, Florida, LSU, and Bama, and that makes sense. If we can't beat Carolina, which is a basketball school, consistently, like.
Look at our record against North Carolina. Y'all talking about 2 wins based on we went on a 10 years winning streak. What are y'all talking about, bro?
Bro, listen, they're not just talking about 2 wins. Like, we haven't beaten Carolina consistently ever since Butch Davis was there. It was back and forth. We've never beat Butch Davis at Carolina.
Okay, so I mean that was a good football program because you got to think they was ranked in the top 5 when they played North Carolina, LSU. Like, what are you talking about? Y'all keep talking about it's a basketball school, but they had one of the best programs. What are you talking about?
No, listen, relax. Got some feelings, relax. When you say North, okay, John. When I say Alabama, what if I say Alabama? What you think of?
National championships.
If I say University of North Carolina, what you think of?
Basketball. Tar Heels. Like, I think North Carolina basketball.
Exactly. You think basketball?
Okay, but I understand it. But look at the records. When what's my man name was at Auburn was the defensive coordinator. They won 11 games that year. What are you talking about? And the year before that, North Carolina has been consistently good.
Okay, all right.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, hold on. When Butch Davis was at North Carolina, they had multiple guys going the first round. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you.
One more thing. Hold on. When Matt Brown in the 90s, North Carolina was a consistent top 10 team.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they was.
Bro, they had one season of Matt Brown when they won 11 games with Dre Bry. So let me get to my point. So you can understand what I'm talking about, right? Miami basketball team won the ACC. You don't think of Miami as a basketball school. You think of Miami as a football school. Just because the football team have a couple good seasons, it does not trump basketball. Basketball is the breadwinner at that school.
That don't mean they're not good football team, D-Black. That don't make sense. Bro, because they're good at basketball don't mean they're not good at football.
Bro, get out the feelings. That's not what I said. I didn't say he wasn't.
Last 10 years, they had 8 wins, 7 wins, 6, 11, 8, 3, 2, 7, 8.
I never said they wasn't good in football, bro. You never heard me say that. What I said was they're a basketball school.
I know that. But what I'm saying is that program is not shit. That program is not Duke. That program is not Syracuse. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. We lost to Duke. We lost to Duke 2 years in a row.
Okay, and what's the overall record, bro? What's the overall record? What are you talking about? 2 wins. You're talking about 2 wins. You're talking about 2 wins compared to going 30-0 against them. Like, bro, come on, you're bound to lose to an in-conference team.
Bro,
it doesn't make sense.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they're a good program, but when you're talking Miami, a national brand, what Miami is, it's like you shouldn't lose to those teams like that. You shouldn't.
No. North Carolina is dog. So okay.
You're trying to make an argument for something that
I'm saying that they're not a slow team. That's the argument that I'm making.
They're like a Texas A&M.
So do you consider Texas A&M a slow program?
No, they're good, solid football program.
I never said
that's what I'm saying. They're solid. They're a solid football team.
Yeah. But he said what I'm saying. But like as of recently, they're legit.
They're solid. They're legit. They got 2 first. They putting players in the NFL, bro. They're solid.
Hold on, bro. Every college put players in the NFL. Like let's be honest. San Jose State put players in the NFL. So come on. I'm not saying that they're not a solid football team. You never heard me say that, bro. What I said was what I said.
So why can't Miami lose to a solid football team then?
I didn't say that. I said they're a basketball
school.
You
just said that. You said they shouldn't lose to North Carolina. That's what you said.
I said
You said they shouldn't lose to North Carolina.
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Like, all right, man. We're gonna go to the. We're going to the next topic, man. We're going to go to the next topic.
Don't brush the topic. I'm still
because it's not making sense. Because you said you're not. So you're saying they're a solid program, but we shouldn't lose to them. Like, come on, that's a solid program. You're gonna lose to a solid program every once in a while.
We shouldn't lose. I don't think they're better than Texas A&M on the average. I don't think they're better than Texas A&M.
Texas A&M barely beat them
consistently, but they beat them. And North Carolina dogged us. So moving, this is my point, and then we can move on. So leave a conference that we have not won a championship in, that we have not dominated, to go to the SEC where we can all say is the better football, right?
Yeah.
We can go there and be competitive. Mm-hmm. But we haven't dominated the ACC.
So I think the question would be, would you want to? Because basically, them and Texas A&M on the same level, right? Texas A&M left the Big 12 when they were riding near the top, right? Kind of like Miami is right now. They're 3-2 in the ACC, right? They made the jump to the SEC, had some success, you know what I mean? But they're competitive now, right? They're in the middle of the road, competitive, probably third in the East and the West every year now, third or fourth. But would you rather be that, or would you rather be, 2 in the ACC?
But you also got to think we're going into a 12-team playoff. That's what y'all not thinking about.
So you
That's
saying
what I'm thinking about.
Those losses need to hold more weights because you can put
exactly.
You can
put yourself in position. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Texas can have two or three losses and still be considered because who they lost to. That's what I'm getting.
You have to put in play the brand. They want
exactly.
So if they go to the 12 playoff format, they're gonna want Alabama. They're going to want Texas. They're going to want Miami. They're going to want the Michigans. They're going to want,
But guess what? We could get into
That's my point.
We could get into the 12-team playoffs in the ACC. Still.
But what I'm saying is the margin of error is this
SEC's
much.
Probably putting 4 in. The ACC's probably putting 1, maybe 2.
Right. But I'm saying, so you said we lose how many games in the SEC?
You can lose 2 to 3 games in the SEC when they go to 12 and still be considered for the 12.
You can lose 3.
You can lose 3 games. You can't lose 3 games in the ACC and still be considered.
Bro, but I'm saying we lose that now in the ACC. We've been losing 2 to 3 games. So,
bro, but you're not following me, bro. I just broke down Georgia losing 3 games. It was number 7.
I get that.
You're not following me. That's my point.
I'm following you, but we may lose more than 3 games, bro. We're losing to inferior teams in the ACC. We're losing to teams like Georgia Tech and Duke.
So it's going to take some years. It's going to take some years to get acclimated.
We're losing to Georgia Tech, Duke, and North Carolina.
I think he's trying to get
in Boston College. All the years under Mark Grip and Manning.
Bro, that's what I am talking about this team right now, moving forward with the trajectory that we're going. I don't give a damn about what happened last year, the year before that, the year before that. I am talking about right now
you bringing up the
into
past
the future. I'm talking about this team right now going into the future. We're recruiting at a different level right now. We got better quality players. We got more depth than what we did. We got 3 quarterbacks on the roster. That's what I ain't talking about. I'm not talking about no damn Al Golden years. I ain't talking about no Mark Richt years. I ain't talking about none of that shit. I'm talking about right now, going forward. Miami, how we're recruiting, the players that we're getting in right now can be in the top half of the SEC right now. What we're recruiting. If we go to the SEC, that means we're going to get more players, the top players in from South Florida because we're playing in the SEC. That's what I'm saying.
We've always got top players, bro. I mean, we've always got top players. Like my man Streeter said, like Streeter from Footballville said, it's Miami gets players. It's not the conference. It's not that. He's like Streeter said. It's I believe in the coaching. The coaching that we got will help us land top players. And if we win, winning cures all things, bro.
I think y'all been missing a quarter. From the outside looking in, like De'Aaron King's a great quarterback, right? College quarterback, right? The second he got to Miami went straight to the top, right?
Right.
I just think y'all been missing on top quarterbacks because South Florida typically doesn't put out elite quarterback talent.
That's true.
You know what I
mean? We haven't had
California, Texas, Georgia. They're all going to the Alabamas, the Ohio States, to the to the Clemsons.
We've had our best quarterbacks when we got quarterbacks from California. California has been our we've had our best quarterbacks in program history when we had got a quarterback from California. The greatest quarterback to come through Miami is from California and Brad Collier, and that's something me and D Black can agree on.
Hey, Adam, this is what my man Groove do, man.
We do this all the time.
That's what we do this all the time, all day long. We'll do this all day. Have sleep and we'll be doing this. We have sleep and we'll be doing this. This is what we do. Makes it
okay. So we want to go to the next topic, man. We was talking about they had the ACC Media Day. What was your take on that? What?
Oh man, what?
We lost him.
Where he go?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know he's about to ask me, but he'll be back. Mm-hmm. He'll be back. There he go.
My bad. Yeah. What's y'all take on the ACC Media Day? I can kind of start it off. The main thing I took for the thing that I was happy to hear come out De'Aaron mouth is that he's 100% and that he will be participating fully in in fall camp that's on October 6th, and we can touch on that. We can kind of talk about that as well. What was your take from the ACC Media Day and what the answers they gave about playing my Alabama first game?
I like what Bubba Bolden had to say. Letting the main thing be the main thing. His focus is just the defense. And basically for him, he was like he's super confident in Manny Diaz calling the plays. He talked about the experience returning, and he also he kind of touched on taking that leadership role and being a mentor to James Williams. Teaching them how to practice, teaching them, about the workouts and off the field, just make sure his mind is right. So I really enjoyed that part from Bubba, he's taking it real serious and taking it upon himself to lead. And he's not really focusing on all the preseason awards he's up for. Yep. His whole focus is he wants to win. You know what I'm saying? He's like, if we win, those things will come. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be accepted more because you're doing it on a winning team. I also like the fact that Mike Harley never stopped his relationship building with De'Aaron King through De'Aaron King's rehab process. Yeah. With them throwing the tennis ball, throwing footballs, just being there, and him also taking that and passing it on to the younger guys. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to be leaving. So you got to pass that knowledge on and to the younger cats so they can build upon it and keep giving it on. And I think that's what we lacked in future years. And, me and you, Groove, always talk about it, is that experience, that senior leadership, someone that can take the freshmen and the sophomores, take them by the helm and be like, look, This is how we do things. This is how you practice. This is how you study film. So, you know, and that's what I took. And I like Manny's approach. I like Manny's approach where he said it doesn't really matter who calls the plays. It's the players. And he feels we got better players now than he did in previous years. So I like that answer. That answer spoke volumes to me. You know, he was telling some things without telling some things.
So I'm glad you made that statement. We talked offline about this, about coaches, and players playing. You know that you're a defensive coach, you're a defensive guy. Mm-hmm. You talked about this earlier about, you know what I'm saying, you coaching the technique, but when you in the game, you gotta make an adjustment, you gotta make a play, right?
Yep.
So a lot of, like I said, we talked about earlier, a lot of guys was on the DBs because they wasn't looking back for the ball.
Yep.
Yes.
In certain situations. What's your take on DBs not looking back for the ball? Is that because as a DB, as a coach, DB coach, I talk to the people and tell them some of the techniques that is standard across the board that DB coaches teach.
I promise you, every DB coach in the country is practicing in phase and out of phase drills and playing the football and getting your head around. I promise you, it's like DB coaching 101, right? When you're in the game, when guys tend to not get their head around, it's a confidence issue. It's a being comfortable thing, because you don't want to get caught on look back here and then get cussed out for looking back too soon. I promise you, they cover it. But when you're in that game, your timing's different. Whether you're covering Devontae Smith or whoever it may be, like it changes. It changes when you're in that arena, and you have to be a confident mother to get your head around and go make a play on the ball. That's why the great ones do it so well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like there was lack of coaching by Mike Ronk?
I don't think so. I don't think because we saw it, like I said, being a Bama guy, we saw it. It was a period of time where those guys didn't get their head around. I don't think it was coaching, right? We saw Mike Evans dunking all on. I don't think it's coaching, because they're taught to play hands in certain situations. They're taught to get your head around when you're in phase. Maybe they didn't feel comfortable, and they didn't feel like they were in phase enough, right? Before they got around, or maybe they felt like they took too long, so now I just got to play hands, and the other guys make a play on them. They're covering that stuff. I don't think they're not being coached, right? I just think it's, when you're in that arena, I think, when the bullets get to firing, I think, it changes things.
Exactly. So we wanted to kind of touch on that, because a lot of guys quit saying that why the Miami coaches don't teach the players to look back for the ball. Like that is like saying that the running back coach is not teaching the running back to open the bread.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like that is fundamentals 101. That's like teaching a linebacker not to read the run first pass second. Yeah. Like that's
why you recruit. That's why you recruit those guys that do it. I always talk about corners. We mentioned J.C. Horn earlier. Last year I was evaluating him. I think he was a second, third round guy at the time. But I had him in the first, and I was talking to a couple people, and they was like, wow. I was like, he just plays corner well. Like, you need to recruit guys that naturally cover better, guys who naturally have a better feel for the game, who can, okay, I'm going to get my head around, make this quarterback beat me, right? He's going to have to put this ball on the money. Because if you watch a lot of guys that get interceptions, man, they getting the balls are underthrown. This is that. All these guys thinking, man, it's Tom Brady back there, and they putting the ball on the money, and they're not. I promise you, they're not. And you just got to recruit guys that got the balls to get their head around.
So, can you tell these people, being a DB coach yourself and who play DB, can you tell these people that getting beat at sometimes that corner, it happens?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like it's so many different factors that play in the getting beat. Like, you can't defend a perfect throw.
No.
I promise you. I can be in perfect position. If that quarterback drops that ball in that dead spot, there's nothing I can do, at times, but, shake my head and get up and make another play. It's going to happen. Coverage busts, you can prevent those by communicating, but as far as somebody just making a play on you, they can make it happen.
Now, I agree. I agree. And this is something that, me and Groove, we used to talk about this a lot, man, and be like, yo, why is he getting so much heat You know, and I'm like, that's DB. That's 101. That's a prerequisite. That's like one of the first things you teach. Yeah. Get your head around.
It's in phase, out of phase. I promise you. And for those who don't know, when you're out of phase, I mean, there's some separation between you and the receiver. You put your head down and you run until you run into him, right? And then once you get in phase, which is typically in that hip pocket, then you can get your head around. Right?
Exactly.
So,
in phase, out phase. So this year, guys, if you see a guy don't get his head around, it's not because T-Rob is not teaching to get his head around. It's because he's out of phase and he's not comfortable with turning his head to lose the man. So he's taught if he's out of phase, run to the hip of the receiver and play the hands. And
because he doesn't know where that ball is. Yeah, like when he turns around to run, now he probably did something wrong to get in that position.
Right.
You know, we could talk about that. That's what you could talk about. You could talk about, you know, how they're being taught, you know, in man coverage or any situations. Like, is he playing high to low? You know, is he protecting his leverage? Does he know where his help is? We can talk about stuff like that. That can be fixed, right? That can be put on the coach, right? Because he needs to communicate that better and get the players to execute that better. But as far as like when the ball's in the air, and you in a guy, you saying the coach isn't telling him to get his head around when he's in phase, that's just crazy. Yeah, so
that's on the player.
That's like, you know, like we be on the phone during the game. Me and Groove would be like, I bet you somebody have something to say about that.
Oh yeah, always.
You know, like, look, I bet you somebody have something to say about that.
Hey, it's 90,000 coaches in the stand, man. There's million more on TV. Million more on TV.
Right.
So we only got two more quick topics, man. We're gonna call it a night. Like far as being, you know, I've been former college players, man. We want to kind of talk about times in school, man, when it was fall camp time. Like, talk about some of your favorite times around this time getting ready for a season. Like, what was your favorite times and what times that you kind of dreaded to go through? And then I go there and be blamed.
So everybody dreads it. You know, if you've been through it, if you're a freshman, you don't know, right? Most memorable one is my first one. I didn't know, you know, I went through it in high school and I thought what we had in minor was rough. But then you just in so many meetings, like it's so many meetings and it's so hot. Your feet, you know, if you play in the South, man, our shoes get soaking wet, right? And it's just rough and you beat up and it's the worst thing ever. But I say the moment I look forward to the most was going to my senior year at JSU. You know, I was fighting for a starting spot, didn't know who was going to be the starter, and you know, I went crazy. Like I was so focused on that every rep, every day, because it was a do or die situation for me personally. And you know, just having that focus, and I think that just comes with experience, being a veteran player, knowing how to approach camp, knowing how to get your body ready for what you're about to go through, right? Being hydrated, you know, trying to avoid those little soft tissue injuries, and just learning from your mistakes in the past. I think that's what I look forward to the most.
Yeah, me, it's kind of crazy. The main thing I love was the camaraderie after a hard workout or a two-a-day, because back then we had two-a-days. I'm pretty sure they have two-a-days now. So now you're living there. So we used to go. Everybody used to go to one house. One of our teammates had a house, and all the offensive players would go to this house, and we'd chill till it's time to, you know, get back and go back to practice. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for the meetings and whatnot. So that's what I loved the most, was the camaraderie. We were talking about, man, this practice was hard.
Oh, yeah,
man.
You in it.
You in it. Coach tried to kill us, man. Or you laughing at this dude because he couldn't finish this stuff, and y'all cracking jokes on him so he can finish next time. And that's just the main thing that I missed. What I hated was being out there in them helmets, man. When it's out being in the summer in Birmingham with the humidity with them helmets on. My God, man, that's what I hate. Oh my God, blisters and having to get up early for treatment. That's what I hated the most. Getting up for treatment and being out there with that. Once we had, because we used to have to wear hats. They used to make us wear hats during
NFL.
Yeah, we used to have to wear hats during conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get used to, okay. Well, the last 2 weeks they used to make us wear hats, like ball caps to the conditioning, so we can get used to, okay, we about to get ready to transition to fall camp. So you got to get used to that heat staying in. So and it's not the same. I don't know why they made us do it because it's not the same, man. But yeah, that's the main thing I hated because at that point, fall camp, your summer conditioning is over. That means you pass your 110 test. So you know what I'm saying. So that means now we just game planning and trying to figure out the depth chart. And the competition was the thing that I loved the most. Of course, scrimmages, trying to beat your homeboy out, man, to win the starting spot. But what about you, D-Black?
Man, I used to hate meetings. Like, because the head coach was the offensive coordinator. So he used to make me come to the meetings with the quarterbacks. And the quarterbacks used to meet at like 6 a.m.
Oh man.
And I'm like, why I gotta come? My running back meeting ain't until later. Why I gotta come? Because I want you in here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm tired. I'm in there. So, before that, I got to go to the trainer, give me some ice. So I'm in there with ice on my hamstrings and all of that. And I'm half asleep. So then, I get in trouble for falling asleep. I'm like, yo, coach, I'm not supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I'm not supposed to be here. But I appreciate coming to them quarterback meetings because I got to see the offense from a different perspective. I got to learn it a lot better.
Really
I got to learn that terminology. So when I was out on the field, I knew all the checks. And what I liked about it, I like the camaraderie. I love the heat. I mean, I love it when it's hot. I love it. Just the camaraderie and hanging out with the guys at lunch, then at night, going to somebody's dorm and we just sitting there kicking it, talking about, man, can't wait till the girls get here. Can't wait to
that is true. You can't wait. You can't wait till the because the freshmen used to come first.
Right.
We can't wait till what freshmen they just come on campus.
We call it camp eyes. Yeah, camp eyes. The second somebody see when they better break their neck. I ain't seen about it in 3 weeks.
Hey, because the only people that was there would be us and the volleyball team, right?
Yeah.
So we like so we like we knew when the freshmen were reporting. So it was like it was this wall, right? We all look, everybody sitting on the wall posting up, looking at all the freshmen.
Hey, that's horrible. Hey, the dad's over there taking it, man.
Yeah, brother, you just don't know.
We like, you need some help? Oh, we'll help you with that. Cats like, you got a boyfriend? They be like, oh man, that ain't gonna last. He home. That ain't gonna last.
So what are you for? This is a question for D Black, and then I say mine, and then you can say yours, D Black. Like, what are you? The question is, what are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to see as far as with the fall camp? I would say the thing that what I'm most looking forward to is seeing who's gonna. I'm looking for the running back competition, and I'm looking to see who solidifies themselves in the secondary at Miami. No, I'm sorry, not the secondary, the receiver core. I'm looking to see who's going to be that third receiver.
Yeah,
that's the most thing I'm looking for, and who's gonna take that second string quarterback position. Who's gonna emerge as the second quarterback?
Yeah, I was gonna say the running backs as well, but we kind of already know. We got an idea. We know Cam will be one, so it's pretty much who's gonna be 2, 3. I'm interested to see how Mark Pope is going to rebound, from the good spring and bring it into the fall. And I just want to see competition. When we read reports, I want to see, cats emerging like, Dad is his name. Dad's Worsham? Is that his name?
Worsham from Trustville. Who was Trustville?
Zaylen.
Yeah. So I want to hear that he's stepping up. He's competing. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole I just want to hear about competition. And who's going to step up and take the place of the young man that we just lost? Like what safety is going to say, you know what? It's almost like that Johnny Moxley. Remember Varsity Blues?
Yeah.
When the star quarterback went down. So now it's like who gonna pick that slack up and be like, hey, this is my spot. So, in the defensive ends, I want to see who's gonna emerge and step up as the DN number one. Everybody's saying it's Johnson, but I like to see Williams and I want to see Jafari Harvey. I want to see them guys continue to develop.
So what about you with Alabama, Had? What you looking forward to most coming out of fall camp at Alabama? What you looking for? with Bama.
I think there's some, I don't really question the offensive line. Just they a great product, but the running backs and receivers, I think there's some questions. Obviously talent. We saw, the spring game. We saw G.A. Hall. You hear some good stuff about JoJo Earl. Jalen Simpson apparently is lighting it up. The kid from Ohio State. He's supposed to be a dude. And John Mechie, he is what he is. I'm excited to see how the receiving core comes together. There's not really competition with Bryce Young. We saw him in the spring, but just excited to see the receivers and running backs. The running backs, we don't really know who the guy's going to be. Brian Robinson's going to get the nod, but them dogs, they hungry back there and they talented. So I'm ready to see who comes behind him.
I can see Keyshawn Smith as the third receiver. But that's if he can overtake Pope. I think Pope been working his ass off to get that third spot because he know it's up for grabs. You know what I'm saying? So Keyshawn Smith gonna have to be really special to beat out Pope on that because you can't knock the talent that Pope has because he's open. It's not affecting him being open. It's catching the ball in certain punch situations. He's came up big for us, but he also dropped some balls that could have won or could have separated. Make the game a lot easier for Miami. So if Keyshawn Smith take that position, he earned it. Because Pope ain't gonna give it up.
It's definitely do or die for Pope right now, and and I think the young man is definitely up for the challenge. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side of that, I think Keyshawn Smith is definitely up for it too, as well as all the receivers, Restrepo, Michael Redding, what's his name, Braylon Smith. I think all the receivers are up for the challenge. It's just gonna make the team better because they know.
It's a problem to have. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, because they know September 4th they're not playing a pushover. You know what I'm saying? So they know they A game has to be front and center, bro. Like,
and there's nothing more motivating. I say this is, they got a corner. Bama's got a corner. Joe, he's being talked about top 10 corner, and he first, second round pick, right? He's being talked in that breath. No, I'm just saying. So that puts a target on his back for those young guys to make a name for themselves. If you go out there and light up a cat like that, everybody, all them scouts, they're gonna hold up. Let me see who's that right there, and they know that. So I think it's something to be aware of.
No,
it doesn't matter who gets him open, champ. He's open. I mean, like I said in one of the other shows, Lashley is great with schemes. He can scheme a player open. He got to make the play. That's just good coaching. You got to be able to scheme a player open. That's great coaching. Yeah. And the best to do that is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is the best coach out there with scheming players open. There's not a coach better than Lane Kiffin at scheming a player open.
Hey, Lane know what he's doing.
Lane know what he's doing when it comes to scheming players open. He had his hands up with the clipboard up before the play even.
Right.
Just catch it on.
Hey, Miami, Flo, you right. I mean, Pope is in the slot now, and I think that's gonna pay big dividends for him to be in the slot. Don't really got to worry too much about press jams and stuff like that. So now it's like, look, man, it's do or die time. Camp opened up in 2 weeks, August 6th, right? Friday, August 6th. Hey, it's do or die. Put up or shut up now. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the national champs. You got the national champs waiting for you. September 4th. So I mean, look, man, I'm expecting a hard camp. Yeah. I'm not expecting a country club out there. I'm expecting a hard camp. Bunch of competition on Green Tree practice field.
I just pray for no injuries. No injuries.
Yeah, no injuries on both squads. I want Alabama healthy.
I want them healthy too. I don't want none of these kids
to miss no injuries.
Their opportunity.
Yeah, I want no injuries from their players, and I want no injuries from ours. So when we meet up, line that thing up on the 50 and let's play ball.
The last topic, man, we're gonna get out of here, man, and I'm gonna say a little piece to my boy Hag, and then we're gonna get out of here. But just want to, of course, everybody knows the situation with the young man, Avante Williams. We're not going to really talk much about that. We don't really speak on other man's situations. We just, it's just unfortunate, and we wish him nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? And we pray for the young lady that she recovers from whatever injuries that she has. And it's an unfortunate situation. Manny has handled that situation the best that he can. If there's something that comes out that he can be on the team, hey, suspend him, blah, 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 do what you got to do. If not, We understand, you know what I'm saying, but that's an unfortunate situation, and hopefully that kid can get the help that he need, like with some anger management issues, and know how to handle those situations in the future if that comes about. But that's all we got as far as with the storm warning. What we got to say about it. We don't
Right.
have no
So
opinion on it. We ain't gonna speak on the situation. So that's all we wanted to kind of say with that.
yeah.
Also, like I
I just
said,
want to.
huh?
No, I just want to, send, just like you said, no opinion on it, but like you said, also, I want to send, my deepest, prayers to the victim. Hope she all right. Hopefully, the baby that she's carrying is okay as well, and hopefully, the young man, get some help. I mean, he's a hellified talent. We all know that, but you got to take care of your business off the field too, and hopefully he'll be able to bounce back from that. And we got to move on, just like hopefully everybody else can move on. Respect the situation, and let's hopefully everybody just not talk about it no more. It's tragic, but we gotta move past that.
So Hag, of course, like I said before, for the guy, if you just came in tuning in, this guy right here, this my little brother, Jonathan Hagler, man, DB coach, former DB coach at Oxford, new head coach. I'm not head coach. I'm sorry, DB coach at Oxford. DB coach now at Uvalde in Texas. Coach at Oxford. Coach Trequan Fagan. You know what I'm saying? Great guy. Do you got anything you want to say about far as Fagans that you want people to know about him? You don't have to give us no indication on where he's gonna go and things like that, because I know y'all got a relationship. And
yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think he said, at by the end of the month. I'm not sure, an official date, but I'm excited to see wherever he goes, and wherever he does decide to go. I'm gonna be supporting him, and just a great kid, great family. If y'all fortunate enough to get him, I'll be right there cheering for.
So you'll be rooting for who you should be rooting for anyway, right?
But you already got it in you, man.
But yeah, like I said, great, great kid overall, great football player. But I'm excited to see where he picks, because like these kids, you never know where they're gonna go. So right. Even if you think you got an idea, it is what it is. It's not official till it's official. So
yeah, man, we definitely gonna get you back on the show, man. Talk some more football, man.
Bama, Miami.
Exactly.
We should get them on after the Bama game, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll get them on after the Bama game. We'll get them on. We'll do an analyst on what went wrong and what can each team can do better. Man. But it was like I said, little bro, it's a pleasure to have you, on the show, man. I'm just, I wanted to say to you that I'm proud to where you're at, man. Just knowing you from a kid, and I'm just proud of you, man. I love you to death, man. Anything you ever need, you can call me, man. And we appreciate you, taking an hour and 37 minutes out your time to come on the show, man, and just kind of give your intake on Trequan Fagan, the kid that you coach. You know what I'm saying? So, man, like I said, man, we're very, very, very grateful, man. And you are, you family to me, brother.
Hey,
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, John, I appreciate you coming in here, bro. Like, Slaughter's my man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my guy. So, and if you like his little brother, so you my guy.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for sure.
Oh yeah. We definitely gonna get you on, man. You already know we hit your.
I can't wait. Look, I'm not worried. I just feel bad for y'all. But
man, but I wish it was in town. Though we could have went to this game together, man. We were supposed to go to the game together, bro.
Yeah, that was the plan.
That was the plan for us to go together. But he and Dan.
Hey, we gotta talk backstage so I can get some information, so we can do that thing.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll talk. Just stay on. We're gonna talk to you for a second, Hat. Well, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend about the Storm Warning. And we're gonna do our thing every week. You did, you know what I'm saying? And you already know how your boy Big Groove do it, aka Big Slaughter, aka Storm Warning and IG. Check me out. You know what I'm saying? My boy Ablakk. Follow my guy Jonathan Hag, man. John Hag. You know what I'm saying? He'll get you right if you got any DB questions. You can get your kids right. You know what I'm saying? So anybody live in Texas, you know what I'm saying? So hey. Holla at my boy Jonathan Hag, man. He'll get you
where they can find you at. Tell me where they can find you at.
So, right here's my Twitter at John Hagler CR, and on Instagram it'll just be John Hagler JONHAGLER. So
Yes, sir, man.
You can find me at Twitter at Ablakk2 and IG at Stormwarning.Ablakk. So yeah, Storm Warning. We appreciate everybody. Shout out to Miami Flow. Shout out to Max. That whole
YouTube network. Shout out to all the guys, man. Shout out to y'all for tuning in. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. We love the love. We love the love. Appreciation. We see y'all next Thursday. Hopefully with some good news, because we got a commit coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get some more good news.
I got one.
We may do a quick show. We may
get one. We got a linebacker. Well, there's a linebacker that's committing tomorrow in Miami.
Yeah, 12 o'clock.
They in there. Okay.
Yeah, Miami is one of their schools. So hopefully
it is Justin Medlock. Justin Medlock. He plays at what's the school he plays? He plays at Manville High School in Manville, Texas.
Okay, yeah, I know Manville.
So
that's what he plays at.
But we'll do a quick storm report if we get that. So we always gonna be around, but we appreciate everybody, man.
Oh yeah, Jack, just stay on, man. We can talk offline.
All right.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Enjoy your night. Be safe. Have a good weekend. Storm Warning. We'll be back.